Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. This is your Jee Sifu right here. Today is another Taoism and Taoist Magic talk show. So today's topic is very interesting because it relates to some of the modern um, TV shows that uses Taoism as like the background or the vibe of Taoism, and they talk about those immortal. So usually people say, "Oh, you want to become like a real immortal, you got to go through different exams." And there's this thing that they call 雷劫, which is the thunder catastrophe, they say, or the thunder hurdle. Well, what's the difference between hurdle and catastrophe? Is a hurdle is like you got hiccup, you got problems, and you need to like get through that problem, right? So it's not so bad. But catastrophe is like you will be smashed and like you will be ruined, you will have damages, and it's now up to you to see if you can withstand the damage and then stand up again. So actually the word catastrophe fit pretty much like that. So yeah, these people, they are like, they are like up to a certain level right now, and then it's like the sky, right, like above, somehow sense that it's time for them, that they will beam down some thunder and lightning and crash onto them, and they will have to eat the pain and absorb the pain, and then well, that's how it is in the movie, okay? And then if they survive and didn't die, then they go through all that pain and they will be like, ta da! I'm like, upgraded, okay? Just like that. Is that real? Of course, it's not real, right? But in real Taoism, how does that apply? Like, is there something like that in Taoism? And the answer is interestingly, yes. There is something like that. Okay, so recently I have been telling my disciple about it as well. It's like newbies, you won't have it. Okay, newbies, you won't have it. But I see this myself all the time with my senior disciples, and a lot of them failed. Yeah, like in my past, I have a lot of disciples who learn up to a certain stage and then they fail because they cannot withstand this kind of exam, right? So, what is actually going on? Well, you see, you're a newbie, right? And you enter the lineage, you ordain, so the Tao is going to protect you and give you the protection. So everything you do is like better, right? You get blessings, you get protection. Everything is like kind of, coated, and you're not going to get hurt much. But then up to a certain stage, right? You have learned up to a certain stage, then the Tao, the gods, are going to say, well, it's time to test you to see if you really learned your lesson. So what's going to happen is not that the God is going to punish you or like attack you to make you suffer. It's just that, well, you see, your life is already set with a lot of hurdles and catastrophes that are supposed to happen in your life. And these are because of the elements that you have or you had in your Yun Sun, your spiritual planetary body. And these elements are actually things that you picked up and accumulated from your previous life. So it's like it's already done deal. It's not like in this life, you did something bad and that's why you have this happen to you right now. It's not like that. It's more like in the previous life you have accumulated these things, and it doesn't mean that you have been doing something bad as well, right? Like most people's logic is like, I have been doing some bad things. That's why this happened to me. No, you're completely wrong. You could be like a super 100% good boy, good girl the whole life. It's just that people have been picking on you and doing things on you, and you didn't fight back. You didn't fight back. You didn't protect yourself. Then all that crap is going to like carry on to your next life. So right here, okay, this life, you have all those hurdles and such already set for you. And no matter what you do, something will happen during those times when the time is here, it will happen. And it's just a matter of fact, are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you have the elements to solve the problems when it happens, right? Like, let's say you're going to have this hurdle and you're gonna like pop your tires while you're driving, your tires are, and then, well, are you prepared? Do you know what to do, right? If you are prepared, you know what to do, you have done your homework, right? Then you won't feel so bad because it's like, I'm ready for it, right? I know what to do. I can fix it. That's fine, right? But if you're not ready, what happened is, well, tire popped and, well, you're stuck there. You see, it's up to you, right? So, after you have ordained, what happened is that the Tao, the God, are mostly like coating over everything to make sure the hurdles are like smoothened out and everything is kind of on the easy mode for you. Okay, so that's what the benefit of being ordained is. Like, when you get ordained, you are protected and helped by the gods all the time, and so everything just gets smoother automatically. But then this is not forever. You see, you gotta grow up and get rid of those, like, when you ride a bike, you have the assisting wheels on the side, right? Well, when you get older, it's time to get out of that mode and then like actually ride the real bike with two wheels, right? So the gods are going to do that to you as well, to see if you have actually learned your stuff. So what's going to happen? Well, your hurdle is there, right? It's happening. And, well, if you have the God's blessings and help, you won't really feel those hurdles that much because the hurdles are like smoothing out, right? But now, at a certain time when you're supposed to mature, that God will say, okay, we're going to lift all that help. So we're not giving you extra help. You're just getting what you are supposed to have in your life. Okay, so it's like usually we have this program on you to help you and bless you and help you like absorb all the bad stuff. It's not going to, it's like pretty much easy mode, right? Put the easy mode on you. Now it's like we lift that and you have your original life stuff going on. So when that happen, what will you do? Some people is like when that happen, they will like their faith inside will shake and then they might quit, right? Some people might be like after that, right? And then they get lazy and they cannot pick up again. And then you see eventually they go downhill. It's like that. So not everyone can pass these exams because they will get damaged. And can you stand up again after that? That's the thing. Okay, so what's the key point when you face these hurdles or exams or whatever you want to call that, right? What's the point to keep in mind to not fail? Okay. Well, I will have to say that you always have to remember that you will keep the discipline, you will have to keep the respect, and you will have to always keep your faith and determination. That is very important. It's like saying, you and your wife or husband, right? Once you're married, you should be having the faith and determined and all that, right? So whatever people outside say, you are going to not give up. You're going to believe your loved one, no matter what happened, no matter what they have done. It's still like, I am going to be okay with it. Just keep going. It's fine. Just like that. When you are like that with your God, your Tao, you're not going to fail. And at the end of the day, you see, if you pass the exam, you're going to have a big upgrade in power. That's what happened. Okay, so whenever these like exams come and you feel like, wow, there's like such a big hurdle, a big exam, a lot of stress and stuff like that. After that, if you actually pass it, you will see you have a big upgrade in life. Like a lot of things get bigger, better, and stronger. And that's like basically just like how it did in the movie, right? You go through the pain, and then if you can stand up again, well, you level up. It's like you got upgraded to a next level, right? That's basically what happened as well in real life. So yeah, it's like that in the movie, but in reality, it's pretty much like that as well, just not as physical, right? Like in the movies, you see they go through the pain. It's like there's like this lightning bolt, boom, and you're like ah, ah, right? Like you have all the physical reaction. That's like for you guys to understand, right? When you watch the movie, you understand because it's all like very physical, right? But if everything is mental, it's inside, you won't understand. So in the movies, they put it in a very physical form, but in reality, it's a lot of stuff going on inside, and the other people outside, you can't even see it, and you're definitely not going to scream and go like, "Ah!" That's not going to happen, okay? In reality, when those kind of hurdle happen, you're not going to be like that. So, watch out for these signs when you are being hit by those hurdles, and let's say the gods have lifted their help from you, right? What are you going to feel when those bad things actually got you? Like they actually penetrated already and got you, okay? Well, before you actually find or discover yourself losing faith, you will discover yourself is like you're acting weird, acting rebellious. And what I mean is not like you must be trying to like overpower me or overthrow me or something to be rebellious. It's rebellious is like I teach you this way, right? And you just decided to not follow any of those things I teach, right? And it's done automatically, and you will be feeling that, oh, I'm just like lousy, lazy, sloppy. I'm not rebellious, I'm just tired. Well, but no, 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 no. You think about it this way. You weren't like that before. You were okay. Like you had a period where you were like pretty good, right? Why suddenly you turn into like this? Now, if you are one of those disciples and you joined our monthly or like weekend class, right, on Zoom, we teach some stuff that you can practice. For example, let's say, okay, this exercise that you can practice and it's good for your health, right? So if you practice the exercise all the time and you seem to be okay, but suddenly the hurdle comes and you like kind of get lazy and you stop doing it, and then eventually I'll tell you, hey, did you do it? No. How's the progress? And you just decided to like kind of hide away and not talk and avoid all that conversation, right? You see, you don't realize you're actually being rebellious, but you are actually being rebellious because you're going against what your teacher is guiding you toward. Okay, like I teach you to walk this way, and you decided to ignore and walk this way. Well, you see, you're not going with your teacher. You're not walking with your Tao. You're walking away from the Tao. And the more you walk away from the Tao daily, the more you're detaching yourself, the more your power is being shaved off. It's not the Tao taking away your power. It's you are removing the power from yourself because of your action. It's very scary, and you don't really realize it because no one's telling you about it. And when you were told, you guess what? When you were told, you feel stress. You feel negative. You don't like it. You feel not happy. You feel like, oh, this place is always giving me pressure. This is like I come back home from work, I'm tired enough already, and this is always giving me pressure. It's not helping me to get more positive. And then you blame everything on the towel. And wait a minute, for those people who do that, right? Just take a second and take a look, right? Who actually took away all the time in your life? Your workplace. You wake up, right? And then the next thing you do, you wake up, you get ready, you go to the washroom, and then you go to work. And then you come back late, right? So at night you come back. So like the whole day is gone for that place. And when you come back home, okay, there's like nothing much for you to do on the cultivation side for the Taoist magic and all that, right? Nothing much. It's so little. and maybe like your master, me, might be just like talking to you, like with a short message, and it suddenly just spark up that moment, that feeling inside to feel like this. Like the Tao is where my negative feeling comes from. If this is not there, I have freedom. Right? That's what's gonna kill you. When your hurdle is there, it pushes you to think the wrong way and shift the blame so that you can shave off the power. Right? If you feel like that with the Tao, you push yourself away from the Tao. And then what's going to happen is you have less and less and less power to solve your problem. And the problem get worse because you get weaker. You don't realize that, like, while you are kind of being rebellious, you're actually getting weaker and weaker every day because you push yourself away from the Tao. It's pretty scary. As you go like that, you will become powerless. No matter what magic you do, it starts to not work because you're pushing away from the Tao. So yeah, that's scary, right? So these people, right, when you're like facing a hurdle, what should you be doing? You should be submitting yourself to your upper. What I mean by submitting is like, it's like you go to a dentist, right? And what do? You submit yourself to the dentist. Tell the dentist what's going on. Here, hurt. Okay, now I open my mouth. What do I do? Oh, slide there. Okay, and then you let the dentist go. Whatever he needs to do, you shut up, right? Okay, you just lay down, open your mouth, and let him do the job, right? So that is a smart way to deal with this hurdle. When a disciple is facing a hurdle, which I'll talk about in the next episode, the real story. But this week, I had a disciple that faced a hurdle, and he have listened to me. He told me what happened. I told him, do this, do this, do this, do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give him the point. He followed everything and didn't even question. I'm happy. And you know what? At the end of the day, he solved the hurdle. He get over it, and he basically just level up himself after the hurdle. He got smarter. He got more magic power, and you guess what? His life get better as well because he started to see where he can like do improvement to his home, to his life, and all that. And that is a very smart way to handle these hurdles. So, anyway, if you guys are cultivating under my lineage later, right, keep this video in your like playlist or something, right, in case you need to listen to it again. Once you learn for a certain time, okay, and you are like active, so it's like, okay, you're supposed to mature now. Remember, hurdles will show up, and when that happens, it's always happening at the time when you're not expecting it, right? When that happens, keep in mind always, okay, submit yourself to your master. So listen to me, tell me everything, and let me help you. You just follow. When your faith is there, when you're determined, you will always pass any hurdles and you will not fall for the evil's trap. Okay, anyway, I hope you like this mic right here. This is the Samsung Q2U that I'm using with my phone. So I hope you like the sound. And anyway, we'll have to see you in the next episode. Bye bye.